अस्सलाम वालेकुम। हेलो, अस्सलाम वालेकुम।
वालेकुम सलाम।
हाँ जी, कैसे हैं आप? ठीक है आप?
ठीक।
अच्छा, जज्वार और
जी।
कस्बा दोनों हैं आप?
कस्बा नहीं है, मैं हूँ अभी।
तो उसको भी बुला लें और दोनों के पास पेन और पेपर होना चाहिए।
जी।
ठीक है। Now you can see my screen. Hello. So please read this one.
Hello.
Please read this screen.
Equations of motion.
Equations of motion. So actually these are the three equations and we will prove these graphically. Then we will be in a better position to understand the mechanism of these three equations. We can use that because these three are interlinked. We are using a one diagram to prove these three equations. Now let's see. First equation of motion. So we will talk about the first equation of motion. That is that. Let's see how we prove this. So first of all, we will draw the axis. So please draw these axes. So this line, the horizontal line, which is called x-axis. So this is the x-axis. So you can draw these lines with me. And then we will draw the y-axis just like this. This is our y-axis. And there is origin. So these two mutually perpendicular lines are representing x-axis and y-axis. So we will have to draw the speed time graph to prove these three equations of motion. Now let's see how can we draw this graph, speed time graph. So there is a point D, and along this horizontal line, what we can say that this is the time is shown along the x-axis, the horizontal line. This is representing time. Time is running along this horizontal line, that is x-axis. Similarly, we can say that the speed. So this vertical line, which is y-axis, the speed is going up through this line. Now we have two lines. One is the horizontal line, which is representing time, and the vertical line, which is y-axis. So speed is along this line. So starting from the origin, from the zero, time is passing on through this, and the speed is increasing along this line. So this is the time speed graph, speed time graph, we can say. Now let's see, after drawing these two lines, so we will draw another line, that is this line. So this is what we can say the line of acceleration. Now, as we know that the rate of change of velocity is called acceleration. So with the passage of time, this is going upward. So we can say the acceleration increasing. So starting from here, and it is continuously with a uniform velocity, it is increasing. So you can see this line. Now please draw all these lines with me. So this will be for the better understanding that you are drawing this line. So this line is starting from point A and it is going upward. Now AB is actually a line which is representing the acceleration. So acceleration A is representing this line starting from A on the y-axis and reaching at point B. So the next is that Vi is the initial velocity. So that is starting from 0 and point A, it's the initial velocity. This Vi is called the initial velocity starting from 0 and reaching over here and at this point the acceleration has been started now. Now Vf is the final velocity when it will reach over there. So it's a continuously, but we can say changing. So Vf is the final velocity, and now this dotted line is actually this one, and one more, that we are just drawing the perpendicular line on the timeline, that is on the x-axis. And similarly, we are drawing a perpendicular which is meeting this on this point already drawn. BD is the, what we can say, the line which is perpendicular drawn from B at the timeline. So from B, we can draw another line that is meeting over here. Now we have two figures. One is rectangular and these are two triangles which are equal. So we have these two areas. So one is a rectangular area shaded by this color, and the second was a triangular area. So this is all about the area which is covered by these two moments. Here, this is the VI, that is the initial velocity, and after reaching at this point, the acceleration is increasing and reaching at point B. So this area is, we can measure this area, as we can see that this is half of the rectangle, that is triangle. So this blue area can be calculated by 1/2 into t, the time, and at. At is the product of the acceleration and the time. So next is,
जी
this is the gain in speed. So gain in speed is the acceleration time passing on this line. So the product of the acceleration and the time is actually what we can say the velocity, that is gain in speed. So from this point it is increasing. Now next we can say this is the area, rectangular area, which is very simple. Vi is the width of this rectangle. So this is the initial speed, initial velocity, and timeline is the length of this from O to D. So this is the time through which all these changes are taking place. Now here we can say that this is the time length, that is O to D, which is t second,
जी
and this C is the point. Now we have CDO or ODCA is a rectangle which is covering this area, and this shaded area can be measured by multiplying. This star is for the multiplication, so multiplying the initial velocity with the time lapsed. So this is the time interval. Now from this diagram, so you can understand what is going on over here. So the first equation of motion, we will prove the first equation of motion. Now, as you have seen in the previous slide, now once again you can see its diagram over here. That is the same diagram. So speed time graph, because on this axis there is a speed, and on the horizontal axis, that is x-axis, the time is moving. So it is called speed time graph for the motion of a body is shown in this figure. Slope of the line, because slope is actually, that is the increasing trend of the acceleration. So with the passage of time, the acceleration is increasing. So we can say now velocity is changing because the acceleration is increasing. So that's why this slope AB is the line which is describing the slope of the acceleration. And now this acceleration of a body, slope of the line A. So this is the acceleration A. This line is representing the acceleration. And the acceleration, as you know, the slope is actually the rise over run, the ratio of rise, that this line is rising from this point. Look at this point, and rising to point B. So if we are looking for the slope, slope is the ratio between the rise and the run of the line. So this much is the rise and this much is the run, that is along the x-axis, and this rise is along the y-axis. So the ratio of run to rise is called the gradient or the slope. So slope of this pink line is representing acceleration is A. So this is the rise BC. You can see this line BC. BC is this line, which is the total rise of this pink line, and run, that is, this is the length AC. So this is from A to C, that is AC. So BC or over AC, this ratio is called the slope of the line AB. AB is representing acceleration. Now from this figure, you can see that BC is actually BD minus CD. Look at this. BD is, B is starting from here and D is its endpoint over here. This total line, we are looking for this line. So this is BD minus CD. So BD minus CD, and divided by this line, the length of this line is AC, and AC is also equivalent to this line. So these two lines are equal. So that's why OD. So AC is this line and OD is this line. So I'm sure that you are getting this. BD minus CD. This is equal to BC, and AC is equal to OD. OD is time. So as you know that BD, what is BD? So let's see. This is the BD line, which is VF, that is the final velocity, starting from 0 and reaching at this point. So this is VF. So this line is representing the final velocity. So BD. So this line is equivalent to this BD, this length. So that's why we can represent this line as a VF, that is the final velocity. And CD. So this CD, you can see this CD, this CD is from 0 to this VI. So this is representing the length of this line is VI. VI is the initial velocity. So CD is represented by VI, that is the initial velocity, and OD. You can see the time is starting from 0 and reaching at the point D, and this is representing letter T. The time is from 0 to this point. So this is T. So that's why OD is T. Now putting in this equation, you will get the value of acceleration of the body from this point A to reaching at point B. So this line is representing the acceleration of the body. So hence we can say that A is equal to VF minus VI over the time. As we know that this was acceleration BC, AC, and BC is BD minus CD, OD. We are putting the values over here. So acceleration is VF minus VI over T. And now what we are doing, we are cross multiplying actually. So here we can write over 1. So VF minus VI is multiplying with 1. So we'll get this on the left hand side, and A is multiplying with this. So this will become AT. Are you getting this?
G.
And you should also note this one because this is very important. So VF minus VI from here is equal to AT. And this is our equation number 1. You can say this is equation number 1. And from here, we are moving VI to the other side of the equation. So we will get VF is equal to VI plus AT. VF is equal to VI plus AT. This is the first equation of the motion. Okay. This is what?
G.
Second is the
first.
this is the proof of first equation. So once again, for the easy learning, what we can say that this was the diagram as I have drawn, that one by one step, then the straight line graph is represented over here, and this AC, this AB is the acceleration, and from this graph we are putting all the values, and we are getting VF is equal to VI plus AT. So this is the proof of first equation. So this was the first equation of the motion. Now from here we will prove the second equation also. So let's see what is, so this was actually the diagram which is very important, and this diagram is used to prove all the three equations. So if you are going to prove the third equation, so once again you will have to consider this diagram, or you will have to redraw this diagram. For each and every proof, this is the basic here, and from here you can prove the any equation out of these three, any one of the three equations of motion. So now we have proved we have proved the first equation of motion. Now we are going to prove the second equation of motion with this diagram. So once again, looking at this is very much clear. The time factor is along the horizontal axis, which is the x-axis, that is representing the timeline. And here vertically, the speed is going up. So at this instant, the speed from 0 to this point A is Vi, and then it is reaching at the final speed. And the same at the same time at Vi, at this A point, the acceleration is now increasing, and increasing, reaching at the top level. Once again, that is the area which is representing the velocity or the speed, that is V into T. And the next is the area which is representing half of the T into the into A into T. So this is the area of triangular region, and this is the area of this rectangular area. So now we will prove the second equation of motion. First equation of motion, speed time graph for the motion of a body is shown in the figure. Which figure? Look at this. This was the figure. So this figure is the basic one to prove any equation. As we have seen, that first equation of a motion, which is representing the motion of a body, shown in the figure, slope of the line AB gives the acceleration of a body. That line was tilting upward, going upward. That's an increase in the speed or the velocity of the body, which is represented by acceleration. I am sure that you are getting me. Is there any?
Ji. No.
Okay. The next is from here, once again, the same thing is written that we were proving the first equation. So first we are looking for the acceleration, the slope of AB line, and AB line is representing the acceleration. And this was the rise to run. That is the ratio. The rise to run, that is the gradient, or the slope is the same thing. So once again, that was BD or CD. We have seen in the previous slide also, and BD is representing the final velocity, CD is initial velocity, and OD was the timeline. And acceleration was this, because acceleration is the slope of the line AB, which is representing the acceleration. So A is equal to the rise over run. That is the rise. Rise was described by BD and CD. We are putting the values and we are getting this, and then this, and then we are getting VF. Finally, this is the first equation of motion. Now the second equation of motion. So once again, we will use the same figure, the same graph. In speed time graph shown in figure. Which figure? Look at this. This was the figure. So this was the figure. And once again, we use that. So I have drawn that. So we are just looking for the, we can say, the second equation. We will prove this equation step by step. Look at this. This was the, what we can say, in speed time graph shown in figure, the total distance S traveled by the body is equal to the total area OABD under the graph. So under that graph OABD, that is total distance S, area of rectangle plus area of triangle. So for your what we can say, easy understanding, so this is the distance, total distance traveled by the body, that is the rectangular area and this triangular area. So we can say that this area O, A, and BD, O, D, and B, and then coming down to A, or you can say A, B, D, and O. So this total area, one is the triangular area and second one is the rectangular area. So that's why we are saying that area OD, area OA into OD, that is the area of rectangle. So area of rectangle OACD is equal to OA into OD. The length, that is the height OA, and OD is the length of the rectangle. So O is represented by VI and this sign of multiplication as it is. And OD, as you have seen in the figure, that is representing T, the timeline. So area of triangle ABC, which is the second figure, triangular figure, that is half of AC and BC. AC and BC. And you can see once again, I am just going to show that that is AC. So this is the base and BC is the altitude or perpendicular. As we know that area of right angle triangle is equal to half of 1 by 2 the altitude into the base. And you know that the area of triangular region, which is a right angle triangle also, that is half of the perpendicular into the base. So this is the base. So AC is the base and BC is the perpendicular. We are looking for this area. So this area can be represented by this one, area of triangle ABC, that is half of the AC and BC. AC is, you can see, that is the base and BC is the perpendicular. So once again, area of triangle ABC is equal to half, that is 1 by 2, and AC, that is the line which is equal to OD also. So that's why this is representing time, and AT, that is BC. So BC is acceleration into time, AT. So since the total area is area of rectangle OACD and area of triangle, that we have two areas, one is triangular and the second one is of what we can say rectangle. So adding these area, we will get the total distance covered by the body, that is a shaded area. So putting these values in above equation, we get that we have the equation that S is the area. So S is the speed also. So this is the area of rectangular region, VI into T. That is the width that is representing over there in the figure by VI, and time T is the length of that rectangle. Plus this is the area of triangular region, that is half of the T, the height into AT. That is the, what we can say, base into the height or perpendicular into base. So this S as it is, and this VIT plus 1 by 2, and this will be A, and T is twice. So this will become the square. T is twice. So this will become half AT square. So this is the second equation of the motion. This is second equation of the motion. Now coming to the point, that third equation of the motion, that was a problem because so unless we are solving or we are getting the two equations, then we can be in a better position to prove the third equation of the motion. So in isolation, a lot of students are asking about the third equation, but we will have to go back to that figure that we have seen and I have drawn in front of you. So that figure is very important. With the help of that diagram, we will prove the third equation. Now let's see how. In speed time graph shown in the figure. So once again, this was the figure. Look at this. So you can see if we are proving first equation, second equation, or third equation, so you will have make the same figure. So that's why it's a very important that if you are looking for the, I mean to say, the proof of these three, so you will have to use this. So now the third equation is the total distance as traveled by the body is given by the total area OABD under that graph. So under that graph, we have seen there was a rectangle and a right angle triangle. So the sum of these two areas, that is representing the total distance covered during this course of motion of a body. So from here, we can say that the total area is S, and that is the half of this is the area of triangle, and OD. So from here we can say 2 is going on the left hand side. So 2S and OA plus BD into OD. So OD. But we can say that OD is once again the T, the time, that is the base, and OA plus BD, that is the bigger triangle. OA plus BD. So AAOA plus BD, that is the total, what we can say, area of this region. So this 2 is going on the left. So multiplying both sides by BC over AD, we get. So BC over OD, because BC and OD. So that's why we are multiplying both sides of the equation is BD and OC. Look at this on the left hand side, 2S multiplied by BC over OD, and on the right hand side, this was the right hand side, we are multiplying OA BD, OD is already there, and OD is BC over OD. So that's why we are putting this value of OD over here. So from here we will get 2S into putting the value of BC, OD is equal to BC over OD. So BC over OD is over here. So O is and plus BD into BC. So this is our, what we can say, the second equation. Now putting the values in the equation 3, we get 2S into A, that is equal to VI plus VF into VF minus VI. So 2AS is equal to VF square minus VI square. This is our third equation of motion. So let's see how we are getting this. Once again, I'm just going back to the figure because figure is very important. Look at this. So now here we are getting what we are getting, the area of this whole area. This area, and this area, BC and AB. So OD is just like that. And this is the height of BC. That is the difference. If you are looking for the product of this is the sum, the total area, VF plus VI, and then we are getting this length, which is VF minus VI. You will get this length, and for total length we can add these two, VF plus VI. So that's why we are using this. So once again you can see, just look at this. This was the second equation, and here third equation is that in speed time graph, the same graph, the total distance traveled by the body is given by the total area OABD under the graph, that total region. Then we are putting the values of those, looking at the figures. Then we are reaching at this. We are putting the values and we will get the third equation of motion. So this is actually the finding velocity. These are graph for the easy understanding. Here the timeline is moving, and this is the, what we can see, the speed is increasing. So at any instant between the two interval, you can find the speed also. And finding the acceleration, so you will have to put the velocity on this line and time as usually on the horizontal line. And between the two interval, you can find the acceleration also. So this was about the equation of motion. Now I will solve the problem that was given as a numerical. So let me put, I'm just going to share the whiteboard now. So this whiteboard is coming in front of you. And that was the third question as a numerical. So if you have the book, Uzma, You have the book now.
G.
So let me share this one. This board. Now the board is coming over here. So now I have this board. So let me clear this. So just to clear this board. Look at this. So this is all about that. Now I will solve this question in front of you using all these pens. So the problem was, now let's see if you can read the problem now. I will solve for this. Please read this one. If you have the book,
Find the acceleration from speed time graph shown in figure 2.24.
okay. I was just looking for that question number 3, the numerical problem where there was a bag. Question number 3. Please read out which you have sent the, what I mean to say, this screenshot of that. What? Can you read that question? Where the bag was suspended with a rope.
वो कसवा का क्वेश्चन है.
That was the question. Please read out that question.
वो कसवा का है.
Where is that question? Kaswa is where?
सर वो मेरा सवाल था.
Please read out that question.
1.84 kg school bag hangs in the middle.
Let's see. Let me write. First of all, the mass of the bag is given. So that's why I am writing. The mass is 1.84 kg. So this was the mass. The second thing is, what was the second thing?
Causing it to sag by an angle of 3.50 degrees.
So theta was 3.50 degree. And we are looking for what? We are looking for the tension. That what is the tension in the string? Now look at this. First of all, I will draw the diagram that, let's suppose these are the 2 points and this bag is suspended with this rope or this string. And when you are suspending it, here the bag is. This is a bag. So due to its weight, it will be in this position due to its weight, and it will make the angle, that is this angle theta. This is the angle measurement of this with both the end, and this is in the middle. So from here we can say that these are the 2 poles or whatsoever the arrangement is. The bag is suspended with this rope. Now when due to its weight, it is coming down. So in the string, there are 2 types of the tensions. In this part, that is T, and also in this part, that is also T. And because it is suspended in the middle, so that's why the tension in this end, on the right end, and also in the left, both are equal. That's why I am representing T and T. So this is all about the figure. Now you can see that the tension is, what I mean to say, that is, if you can recall the law of equilibrium, so the torque, that is the algebraic sum, is equal to 0. That must be, then this body or this bag will be what we can say in equilibrium position. Now value of G we can write as a standard 9.8 meter per second square. So this is equal to G, and this was the mass of that bag. Now for the tension we will use this, and here we can say that this these are all in the direction of vertical direction. There is no movement along the horizontal direction. So we will have to get the forces which are along the y-axis, vertical forces, and those forces must be zero. Then this bag will be in the equilibrium condition. Are you getting this? So sigma f, we should write that. Now let's see if we are just doing that. So what we'll have to do, the next is I'm just adding one more board to this one for the calculation. As in the previous figure, we have seen that the vertical forces, that must be the algebraic sum must be what we can say zero, the algebraic sum. So that's why their sigma that is the sigma Fy, F forces and Y the vertical forces, that must be equal to zero. Now, what are those forces? As we have seen in the figure, now the figure was this. This was the figure. Here was the bag. This was the angle, and this is the line, vertical line. So here we have a right angle triangle, and tension is this one. So vertical forces, the first tension, that is T. Both the tensions in this string and also in this string are T. So T sine of theta, because only the vertical component is under consideration. Plus, on the right hand side also tension is the same, and sine of the angle, that is sine theta. So these are the upward tensions in the string, upward. Only the weight of the bag is downward. So as we know that weight is mg, so that must be zero. The algebraic sum of all the torques, all the forces must be zero. That is mg. So this is the equation, mathematical equation. Now we'll put the values and we'll get the value of t. So this is what we can say 2t, because both are the same, and the sine of the angle theta, and that is equal to, if we are moving the weight of the bag, that is mg. M is given, G is 9.8. But we are looking for the tension. So this implies that 2 tension of the string is T, and sine of the angle, sine of, what was that angle?
3.50.
Yes, so we are putting the values of theta. This. Now you will have to make use of the calculator also,
G.
because this is M, and what was M?
M is 1.84.
84 and multiplied by 9.8. So this implies two T and sine of, what is sine of 3.50?
0.061.
0. Okay, if we are putting the value of what I mean to say, the sine theta, that is 0.061. What you are saying?
G.
Okay,
G.
so this is the value of sine theta. So if we are just multiplying this 1.84 with 9.8, so what is that answer? Can you multiply this 1.8 4.
18.032.
Please repeat this one.
18.032.
Oh yes, 18.0504 or whatsoever the answer is. So this is about that. But we are looking for T. So T will remain all alone on the left hand side. Everything will go on the right. That is that 18.0504 and divided by 2.
18.032.
Yes, okay. No problem. We can round off that. So that's why I have written this value. It makes not a difference. So this 2 is coming down and also this value is coming down. That is 0.061. So please divide 18 point. So this is I am just going to the new screen. So that is that T is equal to this. You have to solve 18.0504 and then 2 multiplied by 0.061049 or whatsoever that was. So what is the answer of this if you can solve this?
0.549.
Yes. So then dividing. So what should be the answer?
Answer is pure car is 0.549.
How? Now what you will have to do? 18 point. Let me solve this for you. 18.0504 and just what is the answer of this? 0.061049 multiplied by 2. Please multiply this one. Can you multiply this?
G.
2 multiplied by 0.061049.
0.0611049.
So what is that?
0.122.
Now divide 18.0504 with 0.122.
147.95.
So we can say 148. We are rounding off.
G.
So last time what you were saying, that was totally nonsense. So T is 148 Newton. So this was the question and this is the solution. Now what we can say that you can see all those right from the beginning. That was first. This was the, I'm sure that you were writing all these, although this is not very clear, but anyhow, we have the next, this one, that we have put all these values. And then the last one is this one. So I hope that you have solved each and everything.
G.
So the next time when you are sending the problem, so please mention the question number, exercise number, and the class. So these are mixing up for me because I don't have the books. So that's why I cannot go through all these. So anyhow, this was the solution, and I'm sure that now each and every problem have been solved. So we'll meet tomorrow at 12 noon.
G.
Okay, Allah Hafiz. Thank you very much.
Thank you.